Hey, my name's Elliot. I'm a peer support worker here at Forensicare, a part of the lived experience team.
I'm Brittany. I'm the senior peer worker here at Forensicare.
Larissa Dern, Chief of Lived Experience at Forensicare.
I'm Dale. I'm a peer support worker in the lived experience team.
Hi, my name is Ryan Lane. I'm a consumer consultant with Forensicare.
Hi, my name's Glenn Broom. I'm a peer worker with Forensicare based out at Ravenhall Correctional Centre. All right, let's see what we've got here. How do you define someone as having lived experience? It's a pretty good question.
Either yourself, having experienced maybe some time throughout the mental health services, knowing somebody who's has a direct connection with mental health services.
Predominantly we work with people with mental health issues, but we also work in a prison environment. You know, people's experiences could be based in the mental health sector, or it could be in the prison sector, or it could be both.
I think everybody's got a lived experience of something that they can talk about or share with others, but for us, it's intentional. It's part of our work.
Are you genuinely okay?
I hope so.
Difficult question, that one. I'm okay today.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm pretty good.
I know what works best for me, so most of the time I'm okay.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self? You're alive at 26.
Yeah, I think same thing. You're gonna make it and chill out, bro. It's gonna be all good. Like, trust me, it'll be sweet.
It's a little while ago. Milli Vanilli aren't real. Listen to some of the important people around you. I think everything will be okay.
For me, it'd be, Glenn, that doesn't belong to you, put it back. I think that's probably the crux of it for me.
My 18-year-old self would not listen to me. There is no way I would be getting through to him, but I would tell him that eventually it does get better. You'll figure it out and you'll end up being in a really cool place.
How much do you share with the consumers about your lived experience, and are there any boundaries or limitations?
I would like to be able to share as much as possible about the lived experience with consumers.
Same as every other health professional, there's boundaries and limitations, but I tend to go with purposeful disclosure. Sometimes it's the right time to share something, other times it's not.
I'm pretty much an open book. Lived experience is very different to a lot of other disciplines because our lived experience is our qualification.
I tend to be a little bit more reserved, but at times I have been pretty open in my experience if it's the right time.
I think it's also really important that we show that we also have barriers to what we're going to share as well. I think that's good mentoring for people that we work with, that it's okay to protect yourself and look after yourself.
What would you like to be famous for? Not too much, to be honest.
I'll let you go first.
Sort of like my life the way it is. It's not the best in front of cameras.
I would still like to be in a band one day, so...
Doing something good, that'd be nice. You know, doing something good for the world.
Stand-up comedy, I think that's where I'd love for my career to head. It's not, but I've had a couple of cracks at it and haven't succeeded, but I'd like to do it in the future.
What has been the most powerful interaction you've had with a client? Easy, I think. One particular consumer who's had a really tough time in the system, he's gone through Thomas Emling prisons and now is doing really well in the community and also wants to work in lived experience. So it's been really powerful for me to see that through.
There's quite a rewarding aspect to seeing people doing well, especially in this setting.
My lived experience is that of sexual abuse as a child, and when the Royal Commission into Sexual Abuse in Institutions happened, I was asked by 3 people that I supported as a peer worker during that time to support them through that process. I think for me that's one of the most powerful times that I've ever worked with an individual and watching them over a period of time develop the courage to be able to speak out after such a long period of time of being quiet. So for me, my work as a peer worker and throughout my career has been amazing, but I think this is one of the most important interactions that I've had.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is, it's great.
What is one thing staff without lived experience get wrong? I think the impacts of some forms of treatment. Sometimes, especially when it comes to restrictive practices. I think a lot do, but from my experience outside of Forensicare, I've definitely noticed a lot of them don't really think too much about it.
Not willing or not being open to learning about the impact or people's experience.
They're sometimes a bit reluctant to ask questions. Sometimes people are reluctant to feel like they might be triggering to us or asking the wrong questions. I say across the board, there is no dumb question.
What value does lived experience bring to the multidisciplinary team?
The multidisciplinary team are a bunch of awesome professionals.
We bring the perspective of someone with that lived experience, someone who's gone through the mental health system.
So it allows us to bring the human element to the role.
I think it keeps people real, holds people accountable.
Something you got to live through to learn, can't read about it, you know what I mean?
We've worked through part of the journey, so we can break it down even further to small, easily achievable steps.
And it just makes sure that we're always focusing on the consumers at the forefront.
So as much as you've got a large goal, we can actually break it down into smaller steps and work with the consumer on just taking that first step.
What happens when you're experiencing poor mental health?
In the event that happens, I personally have many support networks in place.
I regularly see somebody, a psychologist.
I still see a psychiatrist. I have a really good rapport with my GP. So we go and have a discussion around, does my medication need to change?
I have other strategies that I use, such as meditation, mindfulness.
Make sure I talk about it, make sure it's known.
My family is amazing. They're really good support.
We all have good and bad mental health. It's around how we manage it.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
I find this question totally inappropriate and irrelevant to what we're doing.
Can it be like a cartoon?
However, I will answer it for the benefit of the camera.
Oh, is that weird?
I think I'll go with Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts. Yeah.
Flipping a dime.
I know, yeah.
Michael Bublé. I was going to marry that man,
Jennifer Aniston.
but he's taken. With children. There's still a chance.
My first celebrity crush was
Who's the lead singer of One Direction?
Oh, you're asking me.
I've forgotten his
On Harry Styles or Florence Pugh?
So let's do a second take.
I don't know who either of them are.
Well, for me, it was the amazing Mickey Rooney.
What do your family and friends think about you working at Forensicare? Oh.
What do your family and friends think about you? Well, about me? Well, that's a different question.
My friends and family, I can tell you now, my mum's dead proud.
My family are very supportive of the role. They know where I come from and my history of mental illness.
My dad, he was very, why would you want to go work at a prison? But since starting, they've sort of seen that I'm really loving it, and they're like, oh, actually, this might have been a really good move.
My family are very supportive of the role. They know where I come from and my history of mental illness. And just having the opportunity to make a difference and assist in helping others achieve a meaningful life is something that really drives you to wake up and go to work.
I don't think they understand. I think it's often a conversation that I'm having about educating them around media representation of mental illness and offending and that intersection. And they're not bad people, they've just had a bad time.
What's the most important lesson you have learnt from your own lived experience? I definitely would have to say resilience is the most important lesson I've learnt from my own lived experience. Being knocked down time and time again, having to come back up and go through a recovery stage and everything that's associated with recovering.
You know, take your time and be gentle with yourself. There's no sort of right way to do things.
Celebrating your own wins, those small wins.
It's an ongoing for the rest of your life type thing. You can always be, you know, at the end of recovery, but you'll always be at the end of recovery. You won't be finished recovery.
The main thing I've learnt about my lived experience is that it is a journey, not a sprint.
It can happen to anyone. I certainly didn't see this or plan for this or want this to happen, but
No, definitely not.
here we are.
No, yeah, I think, yeah, look, like realising that it affects anyone, doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor or where you come from, it's just something that can happen.
I used to think a lot about what other people thought, which was really detrimental to my mental health.
Do you ever experience prejudice and stigmatisation from your colleagues?
I definitely have, but I don't think it's ever been malicious. I think it's just from a lack of knowing what we do and maybe the possibilities around professionalising that lived experience.
It's more accidental. I think it's through a lack of education. So they might say, you know, oh, it's good to have you on board, or, you know, with your mental illness, or...
People don't know when they're doing it either. That can be quite hard when people will talk about mental health challenges in quite negative ways.
Sometimes things can fly out of our mouth that can affect more than just the person that you're talking about. It can affect others as well.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, that's
I'll be
a
the
good
whole
one.
choir, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. I do very much enjoy that.
K-San by...
Oh, yeah, Cold Chisel.
Cold Chisel,
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah,
a go-to.
yeah.
I love SingStar, so
But I do like a bit of La Bamba.
I'm really enjoying Party in the USA to sing at the minute.
Da, 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 bum, 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 bum.
First things first, I don't do karaoke.
Da, 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 da,
But if it was, it'd be It's Raining Men by Jerry Halliwell.
da, da, bum, 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 bum.
It's whatever comes on in my liked playlist.
I've never won a karaoke award.
Me neither. There's a reason for that.
Oh my goodness. Now we talk about stigmatisation and prejudice.
Do you get more annual leave than other staff members?
Oh, please. Please.
No.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
We're just like every other staff member. Maybe for non-lived experience staff members, your leave, you can go on a holiday. Ours might be a psych ward.
We're under the same agreement as you guys. There's no special, you know. No, we don't.
We don't.
I wish we did.
It'd be good.
It'd be good, but we don't.
We don't. No.
No.
Do you have a lived experience of offending?
I don't.
I do.
Not as an adult.
Yeah, I second that. Not as an adult.
It's a long, long time ago.
No, I don't have a lived experience of offending.
I think this card's for me.
I think so.
Have I what? Have I what? Yes, I do. So my priors were armed robbery 40 years ago, please.
As a young person and as a young adult, I did some things that I'm not quite proud of.
Yesterday, my case went before the Spent Sentences Act to get squashed. I could go for a job tomorrow and they'd do a police check, nothing would come back, and I could be serving chips to you tomorrow.
Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
If lived experience is about someone who is still in the living space, i.e. mental illness or addiction, is Forensicare the best place for them to be working?
Oh, what a good question.
Jeez.
I wrote this one.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow.
For me, yeah. Before I did my studies and before I worked here, I worked in construction for a long time, and let me tell you right now, that is not a healthy place.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't think that we were in a position to be able to do what we do.
You know, I think if mental health or addiction was to come to the forefront, regardless of the staff member, we would deal with it in the way that Forensicare deals with it.
This is by far the most supportive environment I've ever worked in.
If you could change one thing about Forensicare, what would it be? How long have we got?
I would like my boss to stop rubbing in that her team beat my team in the grand final.
I'll have a chat to her.
The public perception of Forensicare. I don't like seeing our workplace or our patients in the news, and I don't like the effect that that has on them, knowing that they'll be watching that.
Oh, look, for me, it's a greater lived experience team. and the way in which we engage with family and carers, but that's my intention, so that's me.
Last question.
This is a setup.
No, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is the loudest member of the lived experience team? Larissa.
Ooh.
It would be no doubt our chief, Larissa.
The loudest member of the lived experience team, Glenn Broom.
Glenn is pretty loud. It's you though.
Oh, thanks, mate.
In a good way, though.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
We only do good.
We'll have a chat about that after.